word on the street is the girlies want to go to law school. So let's talk about it, because while I'm not a dream killer by any stretch of the imagination, I want to make sure that if you really do want to go to law school, you're doing it for all the right reasons. So we're going to talk about 3 questions that you should be thinking about in order to figure out if you really should be going to law school. So I don't know why I'm on this side of threads. Actually, it's probably because I am a lawyer. I have been practicing law for 12 years. And as someone who is an eldest daughter, child of immigrants, first person in my family to go to law school, my experience is definitely very specific, very nuanced, but also very relatable, because I feel like for a lot of first gen children of immigrants, we are going to be that first person in our family to do the thing. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that is our mandate, our requirement to go. But I've been noticing lately a lot of threads posts that are like, I guess I'll go to law school, or our current attorney general is out here doing a lot of questionable things. And people are like, well, that person can be a lawyer, I can be a lawyer. And then also, inevitably, when the economy is out here being ghetto, a lot of people immediately run to, I gotta go get another degree. I gotta go get a master's. I gotta go to law school. We saw this happening with the 2008 recession, where a lot of people were initially flooding towards getting their MBAs. And then with the financial crash, they were like, you know what, I think I'll go to law school. And so we're seeing that a lot right now. And so again, I'm not trying to be a dream killer, but I want you to really think this through. Just because the economy is out here doing crazy things doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go to law school. So I'm going to go through 3 questions that you should be asking yourself if you want to go to law school, if you're thinking about going to law school. And the third question is honestly the most important of the 3. But here goes. Question number 1, super important. Do you actually want to go to law school? You have to think about, what is it that is motivating you to go to law school? Now, I have an episode that talks about how we really need to stop collecting degrees like infinity stones. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely check that video out. But really start to think about, why is it that you're trying to go to law school? Because law school is not for the faint of heart at all. This isn't something that you want to just jump into because somebody told you that you're great at arguing when you were a kid, or you see other people who are lawyers out here doing some crazy things and you're like, well, damn, if that person can be a lawyer and that's what it's about, then I should be a lawyer too. Really think about the reason why you're going to law school. Don't just go to law school because of these external reasons. Your reason should be all about you, not others. The next question you should ask yourself is, have I actually spoken to lawyers? Have I actually talked to any lawyers about what the real day-to-day of being a lawyer looks like? What the real day-to-day of going through law school looks like? If you haven't, let me be that lawyer for you. So as far as law school goes, I always joke and say that law school was the worst 3 years of my life, but I'm also not kidding. Law school is very intense, especially for someone, again, I'm the first person in my family to go to law school, so I didn't have anybody to give me a blueprint of, this is what you're going to do, this is how you're going to experience that in the third. I went to a small law school, and my classmates were really cool. So a lot of what you might hear about law schools being super competitive and ripping out pages of textbooks and stuff to keep them from your classmates, that was not my experience. That was not my vibe. However, law school is definitely very hard, very competitive. I am one of those people who, growing up, I didn't have to study for anything. I would literally wake up, take a test, get an A, call it a day. That does not fly in law school. If you do that, you might be lucky if you end up with a C because of the curve. And so these are things that I didn't know going into law school. So I'm thinking that I'm out here doing horrible because I'm studying my ass off and I'm getting like B's and C's, and it's like, that's kind of what's supposed to be because of the curve. And so don't think that if you were one of those people who could roll out of bed and take a test and ace it, that's going to be your experience in law school. You're going to have to work really hard. Law school is a whole other ball game. It is like learning a different language. Literally, there's the Black Law Dictionary that you should be getting if you're going to law school. A lot of people are like, well, it'll be kind of like Elle Woods and like it'll be fun and pink and all these things. No, it is not like that. You might get called on randomly a lot. Like your professor might just randomly call you and be like, hey, brief this case or this, that, and the third. That does happen, but it's not easy go lucky. Like, I think I'll wake up and go be a lawyer one day. Definitely not the vibe. Very competitive, very hard. You are going to law school. Don't take for granted that you're super smart. Get help early. Also, if you're going to law school, especially if you're going to a law school that is accredited by the American Bar Association, you cannot work for more than 20 hours a week. And don't think that you're going to have time to even work 20 hours a week. Again, law school is very, very difficult, very, very hard. Lots of reading, lots of briefing cases, lots of writing. If you don't like that stuff, law school is going to be super miserable for you. But that really is the reality of being a law student. You really can't work for that 3-year period. So you are either broke or taking out a lot of loans so that you can survive and pay your bills, or you're fortunate enough to have family or friends or whatever who are supporting you while you're going through law school. So that is also something that you want to consider. As far as actually being an attorney is not all fun and games. It's not what you see on Suits and all these other legal shows that you might be watching. Being an attorney is a lot of legal research. Again, lots of reading, lots of writing, unless you are someone who is fortunate enough to work at a law firm where paralegals are doing that work for you. Or if you're a solo, you have people that you can outsource that to. But if not, depending on the area of law that you choose, that's really what being a lawyer is about. It's not just wearing cute suits and hopping into court. It's doing a lot of unsexy work. Just really, if there's an area of law that you're thinking of practicing in, try to find lawyers that are practicing in that area so that you can get a real day-to-day example of what law school is like, as well as what being an attorney day-to-day is like, because that might also influence your decision as to whether you go to law school. Third question, which honestly is the most important question that you should be asking yourself if you're thinking about going to law school, is does the thing that I want to do actually require a law degree? Because here's the thing, there's a lot of technological advances. Lots of things have been changing in society where I don't think that a lot of the areas of law as they stand now will be the same in the future. One example is immigration law, right? I'm an immigration attorney. Immigration law is one of the areas that is changing, where a lot of states have actually started to deregulate, for lack of a better word, the things that people can do with or without a law license. And immigration is one of those fields impacted. Family law, I want to say personal injury. There are certain areas of law where, depending on the state that you live in, and last I checked, there were 11 states that allow people to provide limited scope representation and legal services despite not having a law license. Those are the main questions that you should be asking yourself if you are thinking about going to law school. But here's another one as well. Are you trying to please anyone in going to law school? Is this something where you feel like I have to become a lawyer because, especially for my fellow children of immigrants, I'll often tell you that their parents told them they could be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. So is your desire to go to law school related to that? Is it a cultural expectation? Is it something that your parents put on you? As a piggyback off of that as well, is your desire to go to law school rooted in trying to avoid doing the work, doing the thing that you're already capable of doing, that you are kind of either afraid to do for one reason or another, or you're just procrastinating? Or is it something that you really do feel passionate about? You do really feel passionate about helping people in that capacity? Because honestly, like I said, that third question is the most important thing. If the thing that you feel really passionate about strongly, if the thing that you feel like you really want to do doesn't really require a law license, then maybe you don't need to go to law school. Going to law school, obviously you can go to law school and do other things. You can teach, you can enter politics. You don't necessarily have to be a practicing lawyer in the traditional sense to go to law school. Just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and that the thing that you actually think you want to do requires that degree, because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of money. And in this economy, it's not necessarily going to guarantee you any type of financial success in that. If this is something that you want to unpack further as you're exploring career pivots, I do offer coaching services around this, and you can learn more at brilliantrebel.com. I'll also link my services in the show notes. And let me know, are you thinking about going to law school? Did this video help you come closer to a decision one way or another? Let me know in the comments. If you have any other questions about the journey of becoming an attorney, whether it's the LSAT that we take, what law school is actually like, the aftermath, all that stuff, definitely let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, share this video, and follow me on Brazen Lawyer on social media, especially Threads. I'll chat with you next time. Bye.